What if I told you the secret to success is buried within your own desires? Let's start with a question. Have you ever wanted something so bad that it consumed your thoughts day and night? Well, in the very first chapter of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill tells us that desire, the kind that burns like fire inside you, is the first step to achieving anything great. But here's the twist. How many people actually follow their desires with the intensity that success demands? Probably less than you think, and that's why so few ever taste true greatness. By the end of this video, you'll understand why those who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who have learned how to harness their desires. So, if you've ever felt like success is slipping out of reach, stick around. You're about to learn why desire is more powerful than you've ever imagined. Napoleon Hill begins his iconic journey through Think and Grow Rich by focusing on one of the most powerful forces within human nature: desire. Now, this isn't just any kind of desire we're talking about. This is the kind of burning, all-consuming obsession that pushes you to achieve what most people never will. But here's the real question. How many people in the world want to be successful, to be wealthy, to live their dreams? Millions, right? But why do only a tiny fraction actually make it? That's because wanting something isn't enough. It's not enough to casually wish for success or fantasize about it. Real success demands desire that is so intense, it becomes a driving force that shapes every decision, every action you take. Hill introduces this concept through the story of Edwin C. Barnes. And trust me, this isn't just some feel-good motivational tale. It's a blueprint for understanding the true power of desire. Let's break it down. The story of Edwin C. Barnes. Imagine yourself in the early 1900s. The world is on the brink of incredible innovation, and among the greatest inventors of the time stands one man, Thomas Edison. Edison is a household name, a giant of industry, a symbol of genius. Now picture a young, unknown man, Edwin C. Barnes, who dreams of becoming Edison's business partner. Not his employee, not his assistant, his partner. Sounds crazy, right? Barnes had no money, he had no connections, he wasn't some brilliant inventor or an experienced businessman. In fact, he barely even looked the part of a professional. But here's the key. Barnes didn't care. He wasn't concerned with how impossible it seemed. He had one thing going for him that was stronger than any obstacle in his way: a burning desire. His desire wasn't a fleeting wish or a maybe someday dream. It was an obsession. The kind that gets under your skin and refuses to let you rest until it's fulfilled. So what did he do? Barnes did the unthinkable. He scraped together just enough money for a one-way train ticket to Edison's office. He didn't know what would happen when he got there, but he knew he had to show up, and that's lesson number 1 from Hill. Desire has to make you take action. It's not enough to sit at home and dream. Desire needs to push you out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. Now let's pause for a moment and really think about that. How many of us have a dream or a goal, but we let doubt creep in? We think, I'm not ready, or I don't have enough money, or what will people think? Barnes could have easily made those same excuses, but here's the difference. He let his desire overpower his fear. Napoleon Hill makes it clear that desire is the first step toward achieving any form of success. But it must go beyond a simple wish. A wish is something you hope happens, but a burning desire, that's something you make happen. Take a moment to think about your own desires. How badly do you want to achieve your goals? Are you willing to go to the lengths that Barnes did, to take a train to nowhere without any guarantee of success just for the chance to get closer to your dream? Because that's the kind of desire Hill is talking about. Barnes wasn't concerned with the how at first. He didn't sit back and plan every step meticulously. He knew that desire, in its purest form, would guide him through the process. That's another key takeaway. You don't need to have it all figured out before you start. Too many people wait until the perfect time to act, until they have all the resources, or until they feel completely ready. But here's the harsh truth. That time never comes. Barnes didn't have money, qualifications, or a foolproof plan. All he had was a consuming desire to work with Edison, and that was enough to get him on the train. When Barnes arrived at Edison's office, he wasn't exactly the image of a future business mogul. In fact, most people in his position would have been too intimidated to even walk through the door. But that's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Most people let fear stop them long before they even begin. Barnes had a desire so strong that fear had no room to exist. When he met Edison, he declared boldly, "I'm here to become your partner." Now let's be real. Most of us would have been laughed out of the room. And maybe Edison did think Barnes was a little crazy, but here's the thing, Edison didn't say no. He didn't immediately make Barnes his partner, but he also didn't shut the door in his face. Why? Because even Edison, with all his brilliance, could sense something different about Barnes. There was something about the intensity of Barnes's desire that set him apart from the thousands of people who probably wanted the same thing but never showed up. Hill drives home the idea that desire opens doors, not talent, not connections, not even luck. The sheer power of wanting something so badly that you'll do whatever it takes is what sets high achievers apart from everyone else. What happens next in the story is what really makes Barnes an example worth studying. Did he become Edison's partner overnight? Not at all. In fact, Barnes spent months doing menial tasks for Edison. Imagine going from believing you'll be a partner in a company to cleaning floors and running errands. Most people would have been discouraged. Most would have given up. But Barnes didn't. Why? Because his desire wasn't conditional. It wasn't based on immediate success or instant gratification. His desire was bigger than his current circumstances. He saw every small task, every delay, as a step closer to his ultimate goal. That's the true test of desire. It's easy to want something when everything is going your way, but how strong is your desire when things don't go as planned? When you face obstacles, delays, and even failure? Barnes knew that his moment would come. He didn't know when, but he was willing to wait and work for it. His desire kept him going, kept him focused, kept him in the game long after most people would have thrown in the towel. The lesson Hill wants us to take from Barnes's story is simple but profound. Success starts with desire, but it's sustained by persistence. It's not enough to want something. You have to want it so badly that you're willing to endure whatever it takes to get there. You have to be willing to show up, to keep pushing, to stay the course even when it seems like nothing is happening. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack the burning desire that keeps them moving forward in the face of adversity. That's what separates the few who make it from the many who don't. As you reflect on Barnes's story, ask yourself, how strong is my desire? Are you willing to act on it no matter what stands in your way? Because that's the first, most crucial step toward greatness. Now let's zoom out for a second. Why does Napoleon Hill place so much emphasis on desire? It's because desire is more than just wanting something. It's the driving force that ignites action. Desire, in its truest form, is what separates the successful from the ordinary. When you have a burning desire, it consumes your thoughts, guides your actions, and ultimately shapes your reality. Think of it like this: if you want something mildly, you might dabble in it. You'll try here and there. But if you desire something with intensity, you'll find yourself doing whatever it takes. No excuses, no hesitation. It's like setting your soul on fire. For Hill, desire is the fuel for everything else. Without that spark, no amount of talent, intelligence, or connections can push you to the top. This isn't just about wishing. We all wish for things. We wish for success, a better life, financial freedom, love. But most of us stop at the wish. We don't back it up with action, with grit, or with the resilience to face obstacles. The real power of desire comes when it transforms from a wish into an obsession. You see, it's not enough to want success. You have to want it so badly that nothing, and I mean nothing, can stand in your way. But here's the kicker. Hill doesn't stop at just telling us to want something. He reveals a deeper secret. He argues that desire can actually influence your subconscious mind. It becomes like an invisible force, working behind the scenes to guide your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. It's like programming your mind to be success-oriented. And this is where desire takes on a whole new level of power. Imagine your subconscious as a supercomputer, processing millions of bits of information every second. When your desire is strong, it's like you're feeding your subconscious specific instructions. You're telling it, find the way, create the opportunity, don't stop until I've made it. Your brain becomes a magnet for success, constantly searching for solutions, constantly driving you toward your goal, even when you're asleep, even when you're tired, even when life throws roadblocks in your way. This idea of the subconscious mind isn't just theoretical. Think about it. How often have you found yourself thinking about something you really wanted, and suddenly opportunities started appearing? You notice things you wouldn't have seen before, meet people who can help, or suddenly get inspired to take a bold step forward. That's not coincidence. That's the power of desire at work, infiltrating your subconscious, shaping your perspective and pushing you to act. Napoleon Hill puts it simply, the starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire makes a small amount of heat. So, here's the challenge. If you're not getting the results you want, if you're constantly falling short, ask yourself, is my desire strong enough? Because if your desire is weak, your results will be weak. It's like trying to light a fire with a single match when you need a roaring blaze. In the end, desire isn't just the starting point of success. It's the fuel that keeps the engine running. Without it, you'll stall at every hurdle. But with it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. The story of Edwin Barnes and Thomas Edison isn't just some feel-good anecdote. It's a direct challenge to all of us. Hill is telling us that desire is the foundation of all success. But not just any desire. It can't be a fleeting thought or a weak wish. It has to be the kind of desire that consumes you, that becomes part of your very identity. Think about it. Barnes didn't casually want to work with Edison. He was obsessed. He lived and breathed that dream, even when he had nothing to show for it, even when he was performing the most menial tasks at Edison's office. That's the level of commitment that separates those who succeed from those who fall short. Now let's bring it back to your own life. Ask yourself, how badly do you really want the things you say you want? Is it just a passing wish? Or is it a fire inside you that won't go out, no matter how many setbacks you face? Because if your desire isn't strong enough, you'll find yourself giving up at the first sign of difficulty. And here's the hard truth. Most people fail because their desire isn't strong enough. They let fear, doubt, and obstacles extinguish their dreams. They give up just when they're about to break through. But that's not you, right? You're still here, still listening, because deep down, you know you've got that burning desire. You know that success isn't something that happens overnight, and you're willing to put in the work. Here's the challenge. As you move forward, check in with yourself regularly. Is my desire still burning as brightly as it did when I started? If not, reignite that flame. Remember, success is reserved for those who never give up, for those who are consumed by their desire, and let nothing stand in their way. So don't let your dream be a faint wish. Let it be a fire that drives you forward no matter how tough the journey gets. That's how you think and grow rich. And that's just the beginning. Hill has only scratched the surface in Chapter 1. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into what it takes to transform that desire into action. So if you're ready to keep uncovering the blueprint for success, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Because this journey, it's just getting started.